Hey guys, we got another tower starting today. So I wanted to share with you my top 10 tower teams. These are going to be hybrid teams. We're going to be using the later floors, but not the super later floors. So it's kind of weird. I'm going to have to make another video for those like floors. It was like 90 to 95 or even like 85 to 95. We're going to have to do another one of those where we're going to scrunch even these 10 teams down into each other to make super duper hybrids. But I'm going to make a top 10 teams list today that you'll probably be able to use in days maybe 2, 3, and 4, and then 5, 6, and 7 we're gonna have a completely different top 10 list, which is gonna be more condensed, like I just said. Also in this video, what I'm gonna do is show you my teams for day 1. So we made 39 teams. It's very similar to Blitz, but you need to be a little bit more careful. I'll walk you through how I prepared for that, and I'll share with you my teams. It's gonna be roster dependent, so keep that in mind. Anyway, let's go have some fun. So, team number 10. I'm going to do this quickly so it's not a 40-minute video, because I do tend to drone on about these kind of things. So, Uncanny X-Men. This is a very powerful tower team. They don't need any hybrid love. If you were going to give them hybrid love, it would probably be over Colossus, and even then, it would need to be somebody very crucial in controlling. Maybe like a Zemo or a... I don't even know, Hawkeye. Maybe Red Guardian's a bit of a better tank. Get your Phoenix killed before she even needs a special. I can see those as being options, but probably not needed. The reason Uncanny is so good is they spawn with that defense up. So they can take some pretty big hits, and the Storm can come in and stun, and then they just blow up. They're not beholden to war offense tags, which makes them very good candidates for this tower mode. I love them here. They make the list for sure at number 10. So number 9 coming in, and we are going to be having the Astonishing Ravagers. Yes, maybe this is going to appear a little bit low for you guys, but they're just a summoner killing team, and we did see less summoning teams as we climbed higher in the tower. The reason I really like T'Challa here replacing Kitty, there's a bunch of options to replace Kitty, but I like T'Challa here because he keeps up with their speed. As enemies die, he gets a similar amount of speed, and he's going to be able to keep attacking with them. You probably have him as a striker, so he's going to make use out of those vulnerables from Iceman and Beast as well. He just fits in really well. His damage is off the charts. He's going to help them all continue to get speed as they go. So this is going to be number 9, just because we're going to see less summoning teams as we go. Number 8 coming in hot is going to be Crit Factor. Yes, I took Multiple Man off of this team because I found him to be, a little bit less useful in the last tower. He does give you that offense up, and he gives you a little bit of protection as you're going through the tower. I didn't find that very beneficial, and I actually got behind the ball when I was trying to use this team in the last tower. So what X-23 does, very similar to T'Challa, as enemies drop, she doesn't need them to die. She just needs them to drop low. Then she's going to go, she's very good at critting because her attacks hit multiple times. So she's going to help feed the X Factor to get right back in there as well again. So the idea of this team is Zemo goes, gets a bunch of crits, puts some slows and ability block out there. Shatterstar comes in with the defense down. Longshot's going to come in. Whether you use special or ultimate, people are going to start dropping. This is going to trigger X-23 to come in with her ability blocks. Now we have 2 ability blocks plus a bunch of damage. And if Longshot didn't trigger X-23 yet, Polaris surely will when she comes in with that devastating ultimate. Don't sleep on Polaris's damage, guys. She is a tank. So that's going to be Crit Factor. Who am I going to use Crit Factor against? Well, teams with not super meta teams that we see. Once we see the actual enemy list, I'll probably make another video. And then we have the Heartless Doom team. I like this team. Right off the gate, let me say it is dependent on Scarlet Witch's T4 and her ultimate. I know a lot of people are kind of sleeping on her, but that's how you get the defense down, which is going to be super beneficial. The idea here is Red Guardian is protecting you while you set up for your damage phase. So Falcon is going to speed you up, get you that damage phase faster. You're going to special with Scarlet Witch first. That's going to help keep your Red Guardian alive, give you a bunch of deflex, give you defense up for any kind of AoE. And then Doom, he's going to wait till he gets his ultimate on turn 2. Once he uses his ultimate, Scarlet Witch will have already put defense down out there. He's going to use the ultimate. He's going to call in Doctor Strange if and only if you killed somebody. Because I have to assume your Scarlet Witch, if you're going to be using her here, is bigger than your new Heartless Doctor Strange character. And she has a very high damage stat. Doom will call in Doctor Strange if you manage to kill 1 out of the 5 members, giving him that offense up from his passive. Then Doom is going to go boom, and if he doesn't kill everybody, Doctor Strange surely will, because his ultimate is probably just as big a damage as Doom's ultimate. Coming in at number 6, we have the Secret Surfer team. So, I did sub out Maria Hill. The reason you want to sub out Maria Hill is because she's not great in a 5v5 quick match, but she's not bad, but she's not as good as Surfer. She's more beneficial in long, drawn-out fights with big damage that she needs to rebalance. Well, with this team, I don't think you're going to need to worry about that. Fury's going to speed you up. Captain Sam is going to speed you up. Then we have Kestrel's devastating damage, a stun from Sharon Carter, an ability block from Surfer, and then with all the speed they got from Fury and Captain Sam, they're almost going to lap the enemy. I think this is going to be a very strong team, and who I'm looking to use this team against is enemy Doom teams, enemy Big Phoenix teams, and enemy Marauder teams. Big shout out to the Marauder team right now, because we're probably going to see the full Marauder team with Madeline Pryor in this tower. Remember, last tower, we did see Darkhold, we did see Young Avengers. People struggled with the Young Avenger team. Do not sleep on the Marauder team just because it's tower and not ward defense. Overkill it, because lots of people did the same thing in Young Avengers and they paid for it dearly, myself included. So I'm going to be looking to use Secret Avengers against that team. Team number 5 coming in next is what I call guns over claws. Basically, we're just subbing out Wolverine for Cable, and we're doing that for the mirror matchup. We saw Weapon X, I think, at 2 points in the tower, in the middle, and in the end. Cable just gives you that speed advantage, so your X-23 goes first. You rewind the enemy X-23 and hopefully the enemy Omega Red, though you don't need to. But you rewind the enemy, not X-23, sorry, just the claws getting me. The enemy Lady Deathstrike, and then you're going to just keep your speed advantage. You tear through them with bleeds, and everybody dies. So that's why we're subbing in Cable there, and we're not going to use Emma because we're going to use Emma elsewhere. Team number 4. The Asgardian Warriors. I really like this team. It relies on RNG, but we have tools to take the RNG out. And this is another good team for enemy Weapon X, as well as super strong teams where you might be stuck behind a tank at first, or a Doom team. Teams like that, this team works really well against. The idea here is Loki speeds up Cloak, who throws out a bunch of debuffs, and blinds. Blind is the most important debuff he throws out. Well, if the target you needed to get blind didn't get blind, maybe somebody beside them did, or maybe somebody anywhere in the field did. So what's going to happen here is Cloak is going to go before Lady Deathpool, or just Deathpool, because of the Loki. Then Deathpool can spread whatever she needs to spread to whoever she needs to spread it to, assuming they're adjacent. After that, if that failed as well, Hela's going to come in after and do the same thing, but she tries to spread it to everybody. So I just love the team's control here. And once you have a controlled turn 1, Dagger comes in turn 2 and just obliterates people. So, yeah, team number 4 here for sure. Great in the mirror matchup, great against Black Order, and great against Weapon X. Very important teams to beat in the tower. Yeah, so here, guys, we do have to give a big thumbs up to the Young Avengers team because they fill a role that only one other team does. So, they beat Infinity Watch. I know it's crazy, but they do. Yeah, it's just insane. This is the only other team that could beat Infinity Watch besides Infinity Watch. I guess you could say Eternals with some really big subs can beat Infinity Watch as well, but I wouldn't want to rely on that personally because then you're pulling from your other teams and really shrinking the capability of your roster. So I love Young Avengers in that matchup. I think you need to use them if you have them built up. Sadly, I didn't get them built up enough in time. I'm going to be relying on my mirror matchup still, and hopefully in the future we'll have Darkhold and Young Avengers that we can use against Infinity Watch, because they are roadblocks at parts in the tower, right? If you don't have your Eternals ready to take out an enemy Eternals team, you're roadblock. If you don't have your Infinity Watch to take out an enemy Infinity Watch, you're roadblock. So the fact that Young Avengers can get you through one of those roadblocks is a big, big thumbs up. Team number 2, speaking of Eternals, we obviously are including Eternals on this list. I'm going to switch it up a little bit though. So Emma's with my Eternals. She gives that initial speed stat reduction. The Eternals do a rewind, Shang-Chi does a rewind, and Moon Knight comes in with that cloak / dagger alt-esque ability, probably some defense down, some blinds, some extra slows if Emma didn't land her slows, and then Ikaris can come in hitting into defense down targets with his special, completely obliterate them. So if they didn't die to the initial Eternals and Shang-Chi damage, Moon Knight's going to pepper them with debuffs, giving you some protection and setting Ikaris up to go ahead and deliver the killing blows. I really like this team. We're going to see how it works out in practice. Though, mind you, when you're actually in the tower and you're looking to beat enemy Eternal teams, always make sure you have the speed advantage. If the enemy team also has an Emma, you need to add in Cable or Loki, and that's going to kind of break up some of your other teams, and you're going to have to adjust on the fly there. So keep that in mind. But yes, Eternals do get the nod at number 2. And the number 1 team, well, you haven't seen them, so you know it is going to be the Infinity Watch team. Not surprising here, they are the master key right now. They can beat themselves, they can beat Eternal teams, they can beat pretty much anybody because they spawn with that immunity, safeguard, and defense up, and they do insane damage and rewinds and everything, right? They're an amazing team. I'm worried that in this tower we're going to have to face Darkhold, because in the last tower we did have to face Dark Hunters and Young Avengers. I have no doubt we're going to face the Marauders in this tower. But Darkhold seem unbeatable, except in the mirror matchup or against Weapon X in War. Yeah, I'm worried about that. So hopefully if we do have to face Darkhold team, it'll be a much smaller Darkhold team, and we can try and use Infinity Watch there. So they're my number 1 cookie cutter team, at least for, let's call this like the mid-range team, top 10 teams. So we're going to have to do some more videos later, as I said at the intro of this. But yeah, that's number 1. And I do want to give a special shout out to a certain team, an honorable mention, to the Dark Hunters. Yes, they're a new team. Very new team. Very limited outside of War, unfortunately. But you can't overlook the damage of their kits. The absolute insane burst that they do, even outside of War. So obviously you don't have that Morbius ultimate. He's not going to be flipping defense up or deflux, so we're not going to be looking to attack those kind of teams. But Ghost Rider and Elsa, you do have adjacent damage as well. So you have Morbius coming in with a big adjacent damage. Same with Ghost Rider and Elsa. If you can obliterate 3 people off the gate, and then Voodoo's obviously putting defense down out there as well, and ability block, that's super helpful. And Voodoo goes before Elsa, which is crazy. So this team lacks survivability, especially because they lack that ability energy off the get-go. So we're going to throw Shuri with them. Now, we could get the Hail Mary 2 energy to Morbius and he can ult right away. We're definitely not relying on that, though. What we're relying on is that defense up to let them do their thing. What you need to not take this team into is any enemy team that has a offense down. If you take a bunch of damage, but that defense up keeps you alive, and then you get to kill 3 people with your retaliation attacks once you get your turns, that could work. This team could be good. It's going to be very limited in its match selection, but just because of their stats and how all their opening abilities will nuke 3 targets, I wanted to include them here. And I'm excited to see where we're going to find use for them in the tower mode, which I guess we're going to see tonight. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So the next thing I want to do is walk you through my tower teams for tonight, for day 1. We're going to need 39 teams because we can make 39 teams. We want to climb 39 floors. We've been able to do that in the last 2 towers. We've been able to use every single person on our roster to climb to that max tower limit. I expect to be able to do that again today. So this is going to be roster dependent. I'll show you how I went about making mine, and I'll show you my teams and just talk you through how they're going to work. And then I'll show you something that I did as a safety precaution measure. So when you're making your teams, these are my teams. Make sure you make them in this squad here. Don't erase your blitz teams, guys. Wong blitz is more important than tower. That's probably not something you think I would say because I love tower, but that is just the way it is. The tower rewards do not outweigh what the Wong blitz will get you. So keep blitzing hard for Wong. Get your Wong nice and swole. So anyway, I digress. Let's go ahead and I'll show you how I made these teams. So I'll show you the exact screen you start with. You start here, not with the offers. You go to roster, you click your tab button, your 3 little benums, and then we're going to make sure we're in the right tab. You hit manage, hit create, and this is where we start getting down to work. This did take me about 30 minutes, I think, to do. Probably be a bit faster. I was a little distracted. But you should try and get this done before tower starts. I know I'm making this video way too late, so sorry about that. But hopefully it'll find you in time to help. And remember, guys, just because tower starts at 8 p.m. Eastern doesn't mean you need to do your attacks at 8:05 p.m. Eastern. You could wait until tomorrow morning. So make a game plan and make sure you execute it right, because people are going to hit problems. And you can learn from other people's problems to avoid those obstacles and lap them. I'm the guy you're going to be able to lap. So make sure you watch the videos. You'll see where I struggled. So I come in here, I go to the filters, I grab the first trait that I know is going to have a problem. So I grabbed aim, I grab 4 of the people, and then I'm going to click off it, and I'm going to grab a solo carry character. Solo carry characters are characters like Silver Surfer, Kestrel, Omega Red, Adam Warlock, Doctor Doom, Icarus and Cersei. Well, I wouldn't call them solo carry characters. They definitely can, but I would call them a power couple. So you're going to see some power couples in action as well. That just gives you a couple examples of what I mean, and you'll see that when we go through my actual save squads. So what did I do? I made that team. I hit save, and then I'll just back out so you can see where that is. It's my first team, right? And I just went down the list, and I kept grabbing teams that I knew were problematic. I knew my aim wasn't going to be able to be a team, so we grabbed them. We actually had to make 2 teams because there's so many aim members. I knew my hand would struggle, so I threw them there too with another solo carry. We got the rest of hand, and then I threw them with Lady Deathstrike and Silver Samurai. So this is the first team you're seeing that I exploded, right? Doom doesn't have a team, Silver Surfer doesn't have a team. It's very easy to put them there. Well, Lady Deathstrike and Silver Samurai are with Weapon X. But Weapon X is so powerful that I don't think we're going to need them day 1 as a cookie cutter team. So I explode that team. I throw them with hand. I threw Sabretooth with Hydra and Nobu. And then I threw Wolverine with some Hydra people as well. So that's a full team minus Omega Red. They're going to be carrying 3 teams for me. We continue down our list. I grabbed Kree. So kind of a pattern you see, right? I went to all the minion teams and I just made sure I had them covered. I throw Zemo and Winter Soldier with them. They'll be used at a weaker floor. Zemo's, he's a good character, but he's not as good a carry as, say, like a Wolverine or a Sabretooth. We go down to Kree, throw in Lady Deathstrike there, grab the rest of Kree with a Merc Sniper, throw in Phyla-Vell. So here's another team that I exploded. I exploded Infinity Watch. At least I took 1 member off. I don't think we're going to need the Infinity Watch in these first 39 floors, but I could be wrong. Make sure you're checking all the list of enemies before you start using your teams, because maybe there's going to be an Infinity Watch on floor 38 for whatever reason, and you're going to want yours to mirror match them. Even doing giant punch downs, I wouldn't suggest doing like a Secret Avengers into Infinity Watch. It's just not worth the risk. Just manipulate your roster to make sure you're covering everything that you need to cover. So those were my super problematic teams, like all my minions, right? And then we could probably make some changes. Like I could probably throw the Hydra people up here and have Wolverine come carry down here. An important thing to remember when doing this is that Tower's not Blitz. Tower teams are static. Just because I have a level 85 Wolverine does not mean there's going to be a level 85 enemy against me on the other side. So this is why it's very easy for these characters to carry. Like say there's a 300k hand team and they're all 60k. Well, my 177,000 powered Sabretooth, he's not going to take any damage from them, and he's going to one-shot them. So it's much easier for these characters to carry in Tower as opposed to Blitz when you're using them the right way. So we got through those teams. Then I grabbed my Mercenary team. I have a very weak Mercenary team, so I'm going to be using them pretty early on in the Tower. What I would suggest is just because it's a full cookie cutter team, does not mean it's any better than the teams above. So my Mercenary team I will probably use before I use my Doom team. There's a 100k power difference, but it's a maxed out Doom. And a maxed out Doom is going to be better than this evenly built 300k Mercenary team. So keep that kind of stuff in mind. Scaletary I keep together. Power Armor, they'll be used pretty early on. Pimtech, same thing. I grab Ravagers. I'm going to throw Bruiser with them, even though he's not built. The 4 of them will carry for day 1. I blew up Darkhold. Threw them with Shield. That's fine. I threw Kestrel and Maria Hill with Shield. This is probably an overkill, and Kestrel will probably find a different home, or at least Maria Hill will find a different home. Wave 1, I threw with the rest of the Secret Avengers. Asgards, I will keep them as is. Maybe this will be a good place to throw Maria Hill on instead. Throw her over Heimdall or something. Heimdall, sorry. Then we have Shadowlands, Sinister Six, and then we have the remains of Sinister Six. I threw with Vision and Ultron. Vision is homeless, Ultron is homeless. Bunch of tech people for Vision to give defense up. It should work. That'll probably be a manual play. Yeah, it probably will be. Then we have Symbiotes, Uncanny X-Men, Wakanda, but we threw Shang-Chi because we have Killmonger up with Mercenaries, and also because they would need the help. And then because we threw Shang-Chi there, gives us a home for Jessica Jones, who otherwise would have been homeless. Web Warriors, X-Factor don't have a fifth, threw a super weak character with them. Weapon X, or sorry, not Weapon X. X-Force, Young Avengers. You see my Young Avengers, like I have them ranked as number 3, but I don't have them built up nearly as high as I would like. Yeah, they're a work in progress. They're coming. But yeah, as you see, we'll just start ripping down the list. So we have a bunch of cookie cutter teams that are not going to be super useful. Then we start getting to some more powerful teams. I'll just mention right now, I threw Darkhold with the rest of the Supernatural team. This is why I broke up Ghost Rider, because I knew I needed to find a home for these two. Scarlet Witch is going to be with the Darkhold team. But anyway, so we start getting to some cookie cutter teams. Well, I guess this one's not. Psylocke's just there for funsies. But here we go. So we have Black Order. We have Astonishing X-Men. We have Darkhold with Namor. We have Infinity Watch minus Phyla-Vell. And the reason I left these 4 teams as is, because I do think we're going to have some challenging teams. Like, they're not going to be super powerful, but they'll be cookie cutter teams. I think we're going to have those kind of teams as we hit that 35 to 39. And I want to make sure I'm covered for that. And then I have this final team right here. This is my break glass in case of emergency team. So say I'm ripping through my list and I'm now stuck. I have, say I still have my power armor left over, okay? But I'm looking at the fights that I'm heading into the tower, and I realize power armor is going to be able to hang with none of these teams. Well, what I'll do in that case is I'll grab Ironheart out. I'll throw her in a replacement with one of these characters, or maybe I'll take 2 out and throw a power couple in there. And then that shifts the team. It breaks this 5-person team I have is obviously overkill for whatever we're going to see today. But it gives me a cushion in case I mess up. In case I do too many easy floors and then I'm left with a team that can't be used elsewhere. Well, this is going to be my saving grace. And speaking of which, to make sure that we don't run into that situation more than once or twice, hopefully we won't run into it at all, but to make sure we don't run into that at all, I will organize this by way of power. I will start lowest and work my way highest. I'll make some exceptions to that, like Doom. Doom shouldn't be the lowest. I'll probably take what I consider my weakest carry team. Probably this mercenary team, maybe power armor. Like, we'll be using them on the first couple floors, and I'm gonna organize my roster in a way that makes sense to me as the potential of these teams. So yeah, guys, that's that. I wish everybody the best of luck for your day 1 tower. I will, of course, record it. I probably won't do anything special with it because it's going to be a lot of simming, but I'll upload it so that you can see what I used in real time and that it worked. Obviously, I want to make sure that you guys know I'm legit and share that with you. So if you're not going to do your tower today, you're going to wait till tomorrow, I'll make sure to have that up for you, even if it's just raw footage. But yeah, guys, have fun with tower. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Stay happy, healthy, have fun, and I'll see you guys next time. Got a whack of content coming out, and with tower starting as well, that's going to just increase the flow. It's going to get pretty crazy, and we have something very, very special happening next week, the Scourge event. You can bet I'm going to have a very informative video coming to you guys for that. I'm almost dreading it because of the amount of effort that's gonna need to go into it. But as always, I'm excited to share with you guys. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Peace.